I'm Barbara Tien with Projectkin, and joining me today is none other, or depending on which version you're looking at,
Oh, you got it.
joining me today is none other than the extraordinary Lori Olson White, because one name's not enough. Joining me from the
When you have a
Expo Hall.
generic name, you have to have a lot of them.
I get it. I totally get it. Joining me from not just the Expo Hall, but the super VIP suite, media room, media center.
Right here. Media Hub. There we are.
There you see. That was verification. At the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City. And Kathy Stone, Kyla Bayan, welcome, Gordon. It's lovely to meet you. Jim Moore, Linda Tether, a bunch of us just got off of our watch party.
So many.
Which was really fun,
Yes.
actually. I did not, we just didn't know what we were going to do. Kudos to the mayor of the watch party, Bill Moore, for keeping us all in line and letting me bounce to go join this. So, hey, Diane, welcome, Eterna. Lovely to meet you. Come on in. We'll make room. There's plenty of digital seats. Just watch the hole on that chair. So, Lori, you just flew in from, wait a minute, Milan. I forget
Athens,
where.
Milan and DC. It's been, you know what? I slept two nights in my own bed, and then I came here. And I haven't seen my husband so long that he actually joined me at a genealogy conference. That says so much, doesn't it?
Good for him.
Yeah, it's been a busy few weeks, a month for me, and I'm super excited. I have done some amazing research, and just, sometimes the stars align and everything goes well, and we're in the middle of that alignment right now. So super duper excited.
Sometimes they say luck, but luck favors the prepared.
Well, what did they say? Didn't they say something? Wasn't it Henry Ford that said sometimes luck shows up in overalls?
Yeah, that's right. And well, anyway, it really just goes to prove timing and hard work. And really, that's what it comes down to. So tell us what you've been up to,
being bold,
and how that relates to where you are right now.
Yeah, sure. So let's see. Yesterday we drove in. We're just 4 hours away, so it was a lovely drive. And got to our hotel. We're staying at one that we hadn't stayed at before, but it's even better. It's one of those. It's like an old prairie style place that's just fabulous. Great service, good food. My favorite kind of hotel. Went to the media dinner last night, which was a lot of fun. I thought I would know some people. I did not know anyone, which, was fun. But it was, it's one of those rah kind of a Tupperware party things where everybody's super excited and there's a little over the top, but it's okay. I mean, yeah. And then this morning I went to Storied, had invited me to go to their breakfast. So I hung out with them this morning, which was very cool. They're doing some really, really neat things that I wasn't aware of. They also just got hacked, which is kind of a bummer.
Really?
So if anybody is on it, is anyone in part of their group, they're working on it vigilantly, and they're extending all their subscriptions for a 30-day period to make up for this time where everything's down. But they had some great ideas, and I talked to them about some of the newspaper things and just how I use the newspapers, and they're expanding their coverage on that. So that was super fun. And then I started going to classes this morning, and I've already done 2 of them. Super cool. One on Nova Scotia and Arcadia, which I didn't know anything about, but it was super exciting.
Yeah.
And then the last one was on cultural contexting, which was very interesting. Yeah. Just a lot of things that you know about, but it's good to be reminded, looking into, the social clubs, looking into
that one.
Right, stuff like that. So that was really interesting. And now I'm going to go sit over in the booth with Mert and give her a little break and just go through all of these just amazing vendors. So many of them are so much fun. So I'm excited to do that, and there's always fun people to talk to. Oh, I sat next to a lady this morning Sunny Jane Morton, who wrote a book. I already bought it. And it's on how to research nuns. Who knew?
Nuns?
Nuns, like Catholic
Nuns.
nuns, right? And it's like it's the perfect story place because they're women and they're end of line women. So, I mean, I love all those. So we can expect some nun stories coming over to the Lost and Found box pretty soon. Very excited about
Yeah.
that. And that's the thing I love about Road Stick is everybody is so generous. Whenever you sit down with somebody or just pass them, they're like, "What are you working on? What are you excited about?" And pretty soon, everybody's just like throwing great ideas around, and there's just this wonderful sense of um of great stuff. Of people just super excited. I mean, I'm pretty excitable, but there's some people that are topping me off here. So,
Topping me off. I kind of love that.
right?
As you're
Yeah.
talking, I'm reminded of, this idea of a ride along started a while back, but it's like you always get more out of these shows when
Yeah,
you have a gang, because
absolutely.
you're just sharing with each other what you're seeing.
Yeah.
And using both the ability to talk to you live and share that conversation live with the
Yeah.
chatter live. Thank you, folks. Did you see that
Yeah.
Diane Burley's aunt was a Mother Superior and an author?
I did know that. I did know that.
Because you know.
I'll give her this book. I'll send her this book. Tammy, would you like to say hello to Tammy? Tammy, would you like
Tammy
to say hello to
Mize?
Projectkin? What? Projectkin. I'm on live with Barbara.
Tammy Mize is in the house. Hello there. Wow, what a
Um, we're
cameo.
just we're just kind of talking about how everybody is just so generous here about just talking about. Oh yeah, Tim said. Just used to see right. Just running into people that like, what are you working on? And everybody's just super excited. Yeah, yeah, right. But still, it's refreshing that way that there's just a sense of generosity of people just like that's cool, or I have something to add to that, or
Yeah.
I love that part of it. I do.
Well, even here,
Let's just be able to talk to people about, what's going on and oh, look at here's all the societies. They have a whole society pavilion now.
Right. It's very yeah. I didn't know that they have a whole society that's just like a whole area, which is very nice now.
well, that's why I'm so proud to be able to point to our address as
So
Nice. Yeah. So yeah. I'm having a great time.
I imagine
She just talking a little bit. She's pretty good at this.
to go.
Okay.
if you all don't know who Tammy Mize is, she's amazing. She is the genius behind the whole concept of the conference keeper. And so she
Mhm.
started this many years ago as a way to because societies have a problem of doing events, but nobody knows about them. So she started collecting and compiling these event calendars.
And she is on Substack also.
I know. She has been
Yeah.
she was a friend early on to my startup, Ponga, and was a
Oh.
great source of guidance and all kinds of things. And in fact, she was there when my Ponga became Post Ponga. Post Ponga found a home, eventually found its way to Substack. But along the way, she gave me the tips on the software that I used, and eventually actually the Talkify that I use today is the same thing
Nice.
that she uses for Conference
Nice.
Keeper. So she's been my secret advisor all along, and
Well, the
has
secret's
just been
out.
the secrets out. She is absolutely a marvel. And
Yeah.
I gave her a buy on being one of my live streamers this time, but you grabbed her. So well
I did.
done.
Well,
Well
yeah,
played. Whoops, you paused.
But-
Come on back.
yeah.
Yeah, there you are.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I'm back.
That's
Are you
okay.
back? Yeah, there I am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're back.
I
So
think there's a
that's
lot of people live streaming right now. There's a lot of
oh,
internet use right here in this little corner.
I'm sure, but I
Although they
wanted to.
said that they did boost the internet in this little area, so
Oh, that's good. That's
hopefully
very
it's going
good.
to go.
Well,
Mhm.
one of the reasons I wanted to point, one of the things that I can immediately see happening here with doing these live streams and effectively going to the show as a gang, is the way, you're just prattling off the different places and things that you've seen that were interesting. To Bill's suggestion, I think it was Bill or maybe you, Kyla, suggestions along the way, I was like, oh, yeah, download the handouts as soon as they were available for all the ones I couldn't go to. But then, yeah, thank you, Bill, yesterday, download them for all the ones I will be at because I'll miss the whole thing with some. And then just have that as a central hub for all the things I'm learning. And in fact, the two that you went to, I did pop into the Nova Scotia Acadia one this morning with Lambert.
The guy, Lambert.
Yeah. And then the one about, the one about societies and whatnot is in my list, but I missed it because I did update the website twice.
Yeah, there's so many.
I took my car to the mechanic.
I mean, I looked at my schedule for tomorrow and I have 3 at 8:00. Whoops.
Yeah. Whoops. Exactly. So, this is all about collecting the time and soaking up as much as you can and taking it from there. Great tip on Storied and the hack. That's good to know. That's got to be brutal. And
they said that there was no
like
data breach. It wasn't a nobody's private information was breached. And it was a third party something, but they're working on it, and they said they've got it. They're close to within the next week or so. I think was what they thought they'd be done with it. So, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah,
tough. But one of the things they're doing that was really cool is they've set up a system that you can email. You can register for. It's mostly for missionaries, I guess, the missionary kids, and they include the email to a Storied somebody, and they automatically turn all of their emails into a book.
Yeah. There's a company out there that was doing that out of your chat threads. So, for example, I have now a 12 gig chat thread with my extended family. And anybody can take their chat thread on any iOS device and export it. It's not obvious, but you just export. And it exports it as a PDF.
I didn't know that.
But it does not include the images, which is unfortunate. And then formatting.
We do mostly WhatsApp for our family. We're all WhatsApp. And then
because you have a lot of international people too.
Yeah. And then the automatically downloads the photos into the photo album as a special WhatsApp photo album.
That's which is sort of nice.
Yeah.
You got to think that as as apps start to do that thing, the core app will start to integrate the functionality. We call that, there's a technical term for that. It's called sliming. You slime your slime. Yeah. Apple was famous for it.
Yes.
They would get all these third-party developers doing something, and then they'd say, you're right.
But
good
now
idea.
We're going to do it. Yeah.
I mean, Trader Joe's does it.
Yeah, everybody does it. I mean, people do it all the time, right?
Right.
That's a great idea. Oh, I'm going to co-op that one. So it's a super fun. Last year I came and I was super overwhelmed. I don't like a lot of people. There were a ton of people. I didn't feel like I knew anything. I spent a lot of time just wandering around feeling like I was very lost, and it was like everybody else was in this club and I didn't know what I was doing because I'm not really a people person, as you know, Barbara. And I had kind of like shotgunned the classes I was going to go to, and this year I was really intentional on the classes that I picked, which makes a huge difference. And I picked each one for a purpose. Like, this is what I'm doing, and this is how this class is going to help me do it better. Or this is something I want to do in the future. I'm not doing now. I'm going to learn how to do it. So I feel like it's a lot better than just like a shotgun approach to, I should probably learn about these things because I really don't care about them, but I should probably learn about it. And I know myself well enough that never works. If I'm not excited about it, I'm not going to pay attention.
Yeah. So the bottom line is it feels a lot less stressful for you now?
Yeah. A little more on my terms. I think it's probably the best way to say it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and to back off when the crowd thing gets to be an issue,
right?
and
Yeah.
you're not glued to a booth. Thank you for your booth duty,
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
ride along.
Yeah, and you can, and I also realized that if you sit in the back and you don't love the class, you can just walk out.
That's why the back is often crowded.
Yeah, right. It's like back in college, right? Yeah, I'd rather go play handball. I'm gonna leave. Leave a little early.
I didn't see you as a handball person. Okay. So tell me a little bit about your trip to Washington.
Oh my gosh. I'm not going to tell you a lot about it. But when I was in Milan, I got an email uh, inviting me to the National Capitol to talk to them about Annie Diem's Century Safe.
So this is the architect of the Capitol, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And so, of course, I said yes, and I rearranged my flight home and stopped there for about I think I was there maybe 4 days or something, and had great conversations with them. Spent some time looking at Annie's safe and touching Annie's safe.
Well, safe.
And if you know me, I was like a little girl. I mean, I was giddy. Got to look at some of her books. Then I spent a couple days in the Library of Congress, and got special access, and I got to go like in the bowels of it. And no, here's the thing. I'm like, okay, I mean, I've spent a good part of my life in archives, right? And I'm like, so I'm going to be looking at these books from 1876. Do you provide gloves? And they're like, this is a library. Just go back there and look at them. Just don't put them back on the shelf. And I mean, I transcribed probably 30 pages of documents, of letters, of correspondence, of stuff that super fun
Wait,
stuff.
Stupid question. You can't take photos of these pages?
Oh yeah. I did take pictures. Okay. I did take pictures of them, and then I've transcribed from all those pictures. And I know there's a better way to do it, but I really like. I like to do that. I do that though. I like every newspaper article that I use to tell a story. I always type it out by hand rather than I can get it into my brain when I physically do it. And so, yeah, I spend a lot of time doing that.
A little sidebar, a little mystery that I have. So my grandmother wrote this book. Her mother-in-law, so my grandfather's mother,
yes,
good Quaker woman, I think, kept this scrapbook since she had been a teenager. And the scrapbook is fascinating. And I honestly think it was the basis for my grandmother's book, because her mother-in-law was like, you should do this, right? Yeah. So in there is a clipping glued in, of course, of an obituary for her husband's father. Henry, doesn't matter the names, but it's basically her father-in-law.
Yes.
It's a clipping of his obituary. Okay. What's interesting is that the entire obituary is handwritten in pencil next to it. Okay, I thought she wrote it all down and then she got the clipping. No, because the handwriting goes on top of. Why would you do that? So handwriting of pencil next to the article that's already taped into the scrapbook. Yes. It's weird.
Unless that was the original that they sent into the newspaper.
No, I mean, it's a clipping from the newspaper.
No, but the newspaper might be, the handwritten one might have been the original one that they sent to the newspaper to publish.
But it's handwritten over the clippings of the newspaper.
Oh, very weird.
Right? Why would you do that? I know.
I don't know. I know for me, my process is that if I do it by hand, whether it's typing it in or writing it by hand, because my stories I mean, it's not unusual for the things that I write to have, 100, 200 sources.
Yeah.
And keeping all that information in my head, if I'm just reading it, that's never going to work for me. So that's just.
There is something, I agree with you. I mean, there is something magical about writing.
Yep.
You notice
Yep.
I always have a notebook.
Yeah.
But I'm not writing out longhand, because writing out longhand is like a lost art. And which, by the way, is why I try to send postcards.
Yes.
So just send them on in. I even have a little members thing that I'll put you on my members map. Send me your address and I'll send you a postcard. Hello, Lisa. That goes for you too, because I need to get you on my members map, all of you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, visit projectkin.org/members-map. .org. No, .org/members map.
Little plug. There you go.
Little plug. Hey, it's my live stream.
Oh, right.
Don't do that.
Plug away. Plug away.
Speaking of plugging,
I did have the little ride along, but then when I came in here, they made me switch out my lanyard, and now there's.
But you have we are handing out free stickers because we can afford that. And for booth volunteers like you, we have the pins. Notice that the pins have the no, I don't remember if the pins have the commemorative. I think they do have the commemorative 2006 or 2026. Sorry, little brain fart there. So what we did was we said, hey, wait a minute, this feels good. We're going to keep doing something like this. So the banners and, things like that we paid for don't say 2026.
Yeah.
But the special things that are commemorative, and there's a sticker for you if you ask nicely.
I'm over there next for the next until 1:30. I'm going to be in the booth. So I'll get a button. I'll
get a button.
I'll be official.
Tell her Barb said it's okay for you to have a sticker.
Oh, okay.
So there's a small supply of the stickers. And hey, I have just a few things that I do.
Nice.
Hey, my patron dollars, I am very careful with. I'll have you know.
Yeah, right. I was actually after I was so excited when I got from that one night I was home in DC that I was like, I should get a T-shirt with Annie's Safe on it and just walk around everywhere I am. Ask me about Annie's Safe, and of course, I mean, I'm not going to get one of those in my little town. So maybe another time.
We'll talk. I've got the skills. I've got a guy.
You know somebody.
I know a guy. Who can sell it without duties in Canada, New Zealand, Australia, the UK, and the US.
Nice. We'll talk
tomorrow.
All right.
I got a guy.
I knew you probably did.
Yeah, Barbara knows
does know people.
And Barbara remembers the people. So,
and Kathy, I have not forgotten about that little conversation. We're still going to do that. But I just got a little waylaid, so I'm still on it.
Oh, are you doing a live stream with her? You're doing a live stream? It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. We got something going on the side.
All of you can be having your live streams. All I ask is you not take my guest at the time I have it planned.
No, we'll work around that. I'm going to pick her brain on old photographs.
Hey, there's no one better.
How to preserve old photographs.
So if you all were in the, many of you I know were also in the AI guidelines panel that was just before this program. And one of the things, there was a very interesting discussion about old photographs and the difference between having AI restore a photo is not the right way to think about it. You should be thinking about that as having AI generate a photo based on your photo.
Enhance.
That's fine. Yeah. And of course, properly acknowledging that and making that clear in the material itself. But the key is that it's different. It is not the same image, and particularly is true in the point. This is a sidebar discussion that we had in our own little watch party.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is how it changes the geometries of the photo in ways that you may not be able to perceive in your human eyes.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah.
I was going to say also the other thing at that little meeting, that dinner last night. Steve, Hartwell, I think his name is Rockwell. Yeah,
Rockwood.
Yeah, him. He was talking about just like how much Family Search is going to be going hard with AI, and that that they really want every genealogist and family historian to embrace the potential of it. And that's a big part of their agenda for the next years. So that's going to be incorporated in a lot more of the products, and that's going to just become, part of the fingerprint of what we're doing as genealogists, family historians.
I think they have the potential to do it in a way that has a moral authority to responsible use. The fact that they even started their whole content around AI on a responsible use guideline start, I think is a good start, because even if they weren't doing that, everything else is going to be pushing that. And I don't think that MyHeritage and Ancestry have the same incentive to responsible use.
And I think the difference between the sense from last year and this year is that there's just kind of a general, everybody has just accepted that the products have AI. This is driven by AI. And you hear people talking about it at the booths and in their meetings, and it's a given now. It's not an option anymore. It's just like, we're, that's all part of it now. So
remember when the net was new? And we would talk about things being in the cloud, and being in the cloud was somehow new and special. I don't do things. I don't do things in the cloud. I can't trust things in the cloud. Somebody can take my work. The network, you don't see it. You're not. You don't know. It's there. Trust me. It's there. This is a point Bill was making in our exactly. Just to spell check what you just did and rewrite the words.
Right.
Exactly.
And they're talking about the light editing, and like when you submit something to this and you're writing a story, then automatically AI automatically goes through the grammar for you unless you turn it off and things like that. And I mean, I've got as a writer, primarily a writer. I mean, I have some concerns about the authenticity of. I have some, and I'm not shy about talking about those. There's a AI does not have the emotional intelligence yet to tell a lot of stories. It's really good at forming sentences. It's not often very good at making sentences quicken your heartbeat. Or bring a tear to your eye. It doesn't understand that human component yet. And even when it tries to, from what I've seen and what I've read, it's kind of like Sheldon on the Big Bang Theory, right? He can simulate an emotion, but he can't quite carry it off. And as a writer, I mean, my bread and butter is making people think in a different way and care and feel something. And I don't feel really threatened by it, because there's always been bad writers and different ways of telling stories. But I think we need to be cautious about how we defer our creativity to something that maybe doesn't have the same level of creativity as we have.
And that applies
there's
as
writing,
much to...
And it's for everything. It's for spell check. It's for everything. Hang on to your personal autonomy and creativity and your voice and whatever it is you're doing.
I love your phrasing in the context of emotional intelligence, because, and it's not just can they express an emotion, because you stepped on the other side of it, which is can they make the other person feel? Well, you have to know what it means to feel in order to help someone else feel. And it is, we have learned a lot more about things like autism or, Asperger's and all of these other behavioral things that are ways to better understand how different humans have different skill sets. And we talk about it as emotional intelligence. And someone could be, as the TV show, someone could be very, very brainy, very, very intelligent, but lack emotional intelligence. Or as Hermione Granger put it, you Harry, have the have the emotional range of a teaspoon.
Yeah, right?
That's a phrase we use a lot around our house.
Yeah.
Separate subject.
I mean, and we've gone a little off field here, but
Yes, we have. Sorry about that.
No, I mean, I mean, I have some thoughts on that, and I'm happy to talk about those.
Well, let's come back to Annie and your
Yeah.
incredible series. So you were in Washington and you got to touch the safe, read the materials, feel the books, hold the signatures. And now
y'all.
all the feels. And you all can read the series with the denouement coming on Friday, next Tuesday. Is that right?
Yeah. So I dropped part 4 Tuesday. 5 is coming out next Tuesday, and that's going to be
5 of 5.
That's going to be the end of it, and then there's going to be a little announcement in part 6 the next week.
So she's got something up her sleeve.
Yeah.
Are we surprised? No, we're not surprised.
This has been such a fun story to research. And it sounds super corny, but it has changed fundamentally how I think about family history. And we talk a lot about, like the context contact class I was in a little bit earlier, and they were talking about, make sure that
context,
learn about, their community and the groups they were involved in and the charities they worked for and all that other stuff. But are we doing that? Like, are you recording? Are you writing down things that talk about the community service that you do, or the organizations, or like what, when I'm the church kitchen lady, what I'm making for the church funerals? I don't.
Yeah.
But my expectation is that I'm going to find that stuff from my ancestors. Well, what am I doing? Like, how am I bringing that forward? If I believe that that's important and that those stories need to be carried forward, well, then what am I doing? Like, how am I making sure that's happening going forward? And I'm doing a terrible job of that.
Yeah.
I mean, and so fundamentally, this has kind of changed how I'm thinking about family history.
Yeah.
Because if my expectation that I can find it for them, well, where is it? Where is it for the next one?
Right.
Am I doing a good job at that?
I think I shared with you that I had been a member of a lineage society, and I just felt like I didn't, not my jam. And part of that, I realized it felt like a throwback to a previous world of, writing your volunteer hours down. And I'm like, oh, I guess I don't do anything. I don't contribute anything to society. There's nothing that I do.
That's a stupid idea.
That's a volunteer.
Look at you. What are you doing? Yeah, of course you do that all the time, but you don't write it down.
But it doesn't count. My point is, what is this? The form.
50 years, Barbara, it's going to count.
And 50 years ago, they just did it differently. Why did they all do it that way? Well, it was a different society. It was a completely different world. I went to go find out where there were, how my great grandmother participated in the suffrage movement. I mean, of course she did. And I went back, and I didn't even realize that I couldn't find her under her own name, because she was two initials and her husband, Mrs. her husband's initials and her husband's last name.
Annie, after 1875, she does this cool thing. By 1881, she is signing her name and her books as CFDM, her husband's name.
Yeah.
What?
First 2 initials, last name.
Yeah. And her, not even her initials, his initials. She went, it was from Mrs. CFDM to just CFDM. And that's how she signs her all of her work after a period. But
and
if
it
you look
probably
back,
got her lots of places that they didn't want to talk to a Mrs.
But they already knew her. They already knew her,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But some of the, you think about it, how did a woman in the past define her value? Like the social value of who she was. Well, a lot of it was family based. A lot of it was organizational based. A lot of it was what you did in the community. So how do you document somebody's value? Well, you have to document it, right? And so you have these records of community church books, community church recipe books where they have their recipes and then they've got their names underneath it, and that's social proof that I am a good person, or I am helping to support the children's orphanage or whatever cause that cookbook is going for. And so that we don't maybe define our social worth like that anymore.
And it gets really awkward to say that now because many of those organizations are still here. They are still doing the Rotary Club. They're still here and they're still playing important roles.
Right.
But they aren't necessarily the roles that it says they are. And so calling them out.
Right,
yeah. So it's there must be sociologists that are doing a lot of research on this right now.
But
They're actually all working for Google.
A formal organization? Do you need a formal organization to commit to support a community? I don't think so. Do you?
The irony is,
are you less valuable to your community because you're doing it as an individual, or because you're doing it as part of an organization that's a program?
Yeah. No, it's actually a really interesting question, and one I actually have looked at, because Projectkin.org is, I say, a not-for-profit. Because it is not a nonprofit in the U.S. tax law, because it costs too much money to do the corporate formation documents, and most importantly, actually, the maintenance. Yeah, the maintenance is very expensive. So I'd have to raise all kinds of money to do that.
Yeah.
And then all it really does is lets people who contribute, $5 or $50, take it out on their as part of a donation, which is a discount off a discount on their U.S. taxes.
Yeah.
Which I'm interested in the global audience.
Yeah.
So that's why I've made my decision as where it is. And it's basically, I just have to be who I am and let trust be there. Because I think at the end of the day, that's honestly all that really matters.
For sure.
Or certainly matters the most. And that's why I spend my patrons' money very carefully.
But the other, I mean, moving back a few steps from this conversation, I hope that you're documenting what you do with Projectkin. That you, but not document it for today, but that you document it for the future, so that in the future, when people research you, that's one of the things that they see about you, right? That they see that this is part of your what you were doing. This is part of who you are, and your
the immediate. But you raise an interesting question, because to me, again, I come to this as an entrepreneur, to be sure.
Yeah.
But to me, I am documenting everything I'm doing personally and as a not for profit business. For the purposes of sustainability. Right?
Sustainability.
If something happened to me tomorrow, I believe enough in what I'm doing that somebody else could pick it up. That's the reason.
Right. Yeah.
It's not about me, but about passing that on. I'll do the same thing in my about me that is a family member, and the rest of it is about documenting it so that it passes forward. But they are a subtle difference between the two.
Yeah.
And, I am, in my view, reasonably young, and I can comfortably anticipate doing this for at least another 10 years. And so, I don't need to be thinking about having a staff. But in fact, in the whole principle of this, I have a community. That's the whole idea of ringleader, is, the society, the community whether for my case or anybody's, is the sustainability. But it does take a discipline about writing it down, about documenting it, about the workflow. And in this case, because of the nature of what we're doing, I like to think that the discipline of writing it down and capturing and documenting, I'm trying to show people how I do it as a responsibility, help them do it themselves.
But I'm not talking about a sustainability document. What I'm doing, and we're getting long here, and if y'all have to leave, that's fine. We're going to keep talking anyway. But
thank you, guys.
but I'm not talking about a sustainability document. I'm talking about a document that says this is what I'm doing and why I think it matters. And that's different than this is how we do things. This is what I believe is valuable, and this is why I'm doing it. And that's something that your descendants are going to be interested in a lot more than the day-to-day how you do this stuff, right? And those are the things that I think I'm kind of convicted in. But that's kind of where we're falling down as family historians.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about it for a while. I started really getting that nudge during the pandemic, that we were living in this historic time, and very few of us were journaling about it or writing down what we were doing or what happened here and then. And since then, I've tried moving that ball forward, and nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to look back on it and say, I mean, like, I remember when this happened, or this is how I felt, or, I found myself taking online pretzel making classes, because I felt like I needed to do something. We haven't documented that. So we're not very good ancestors.
But I think
sense,
I think, and again, there are probably sociologists out there studying this.
But for sure there are.
I think in the middle of the pandemic, we were at first didn't believe it would go on for a month, right? And then it was, when the refrigerated tankers or refrigerated trucks started appearing in New York was when we started to have these visions of all those horror movies, right?
It's not going to be 2 weeks. We can't slow the curve in 2 weeks. Yeah.
No, right? And all of the cycles of the disbelief went through.
Yeah.
I think for many of us, we were so focused on our own tragedies, our own dramas. I was caring for my mom at the time and trying to start Project Ponga, so I had no bandwidth to document.
For sure.
But the idea of the pandemic chronicles, a friend started something like that with their family to do that. I don't think they continued it. I do think, though, that 5 years later, 10 years later, you have the time and the space to reflect. And those of us of an age where our kids are out of
social media a lot. Yep.
Yes, that's right. They were on journaling on social media, but again, that's a little bit different. It's different exactly, but the reflection of that experience, I think, is where the really interesting stuff comes.
Yeah.
And doing it for the purposes of writing the great book is one thing, but doing it for the purpose of sharing it with your family is quite another. Yeah,
right?
And Kathy points out I've saved many things in photos from the pandemic.
Yeah.
So tell those stories.
Right. Even just like thinking about those stories, like in 10 years, what story am I going to tell about the pandemic? Like, what are those stories? And for me personally, if I don't formulate those stories now, 10 years from now, I'm not going to be able to tell them. They're going to have changed.
One of the things that we have that we never, ever, ever had before as communities is a way to, do this, talk to each other in ways that are, pay no mind to space and time. And to have a conversation that can spark each other's memories, and then we go do our thing.
Right.
It doesn't have to be public. And having the conversations to share, I think, is just really... That's an interesting idea.
I have a few.
That little tickler file.
Yeah, right. Man, that thing's getting heavy.
So listen. Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I should be getting over to the booth pretty soon.
I think so.
But as always, I love talking to you. This is, family history and genealogy seems like kind of a nerdy thing to do, and kind of like an old person thing to do. Like when you don't have anything else to do, you start digging into your family history, right? Um, and I think that is just crap. That's a lie. Because it opens up ways of thinking about things that, I mean, psychology doesn't cover it, sociology doesn't cover it, history doesn't really cover it. It's just a lot more than it looks like from the outside. And I think Ritstick is one of those great places where that is just so vividly clear.
Yeah.
Because everybody's coming at it from a different way and focusing on something different, and just like coming from a different place into it, and has different expectations of it. And it's a big room. Everybody fits.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that before we actually began this live stream, you and I were chatting a little bit. I mentioned a talk that I gave at the Allen County Public Library a couple of weeks ago that is not online yet. But I've been promised it will be. One of the things that I took in that is to look forward to a time. I said 30 years from now, maybe 50 is a better range, but just saying, where we're no longer struggling to get the facts of how our ancestors were connected. In other words, all of this bloom we're doing now is because of finally we can go blah, blah, blah to put them all together. Yeah. What I'm saying is 30, 50 years from now, we've already done it for, 500 years back to today, and we're going to be much better at, today to 50 years from now. That's just boring. Done. So here's the interesting part. The interesting part is in the stories, in the reflections, in the perspectives. And there's always going to be a struggle with people who were never alive in the time that we are able to do all of these things. But what's our job going forward? And I think that's such a mind-blowingly different way of looking at family history and looking at what all of this that we're doing here in this conference is why it matters. So I can't thank you enough, as always, for doing this, and all of you as an audience. This has been fantastic. Thank you so much. Yeah. Get out there and, stay hydrated. Yeah. Say hi to Mert. Yeah.
And I have used up all my batteries, so that past sucks. But
find a power.
I'm sitting right next to a power thing. I just didn't even think of it. And if anybody has any something specific about this thing that I can help with, just send a DM, and I'll be here all week.
If you're watching this and are not on Substack and don't know how to reach this amazing lady, pop a message to me on Projectkin, and I will qualify and pass it along to Lori. And thank you so much for everyone. Remember, ridealongpartners.org is still riding. I've got room here. I've already updated the website twice this morning, and I've seen some more
you're
stuff.
Doing an amazing job. I mean,
thank you. I'll keep it. Y'all are making me look good.
I would have it on a calendar, and then 10 minutes later, I'd say, "Oops." So
it's okay. Keep them coming. It's all right. Thank you. All of you doing Substack live streams, be very careful, because I had trouble making it end. My last episode with Bill, and as Kyla pointed out, it's kind of like the end of the Marvel movies if you watch all the way to the end, because the damn thing wouldn't end.
Okay, so then I shouldn't say anything.
So if you must end it, the secret is, that's right. And don't change your clothes. So the secret is to actually be sure you've ended it, you may have to quit the app.
Okay, I'm there. I'll do that.
Now you know. Thank you again. Bye-bye now.
Bye. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. End live.